All right, folks, what I wanted to show you here is, again, get you introduced to using Revit architecture, even though, if you want, a real in-depth course on it, you can always take Elias's Revit architecture course, or now, actually, we're starting to teach Revit MEP as well, too. So if you want a real in-depth knowledge of those, that's where to go. But since most of you have not been exposed to Revit, we'll sort of just give you sort of a scaled down look around of here's how we draw with it, here's what it can do and whatnot. So the first thing, like we talked about before, there were all these tabs up top, and in the Home tab has many of our basic building elements. So something like a wall, if I clicked on that, now the one thing to notice is in the property box here, I clicked on wall and it automatically defaulted into a certain wall type. Now, for you all right now, that doesn't matter, but I do want to draw your attention to the fact that up here in the properties dialog box, it has selected a basic wall, a generic 8-inch wall. Okay? So, and there's some other stuff up here in the property dialog box we'll look at. So I go into the main drawing editor. Don't worry about these the little camera lenses here. But anyway, you notice you can click once and you can start to drag, and automatically, it comes up with a dimension. So when you click again, your wall will be at that dimension. So I'll go out to 50 feet and I'll click. All right? You'll notice it comes up with like a 90 or 45 degree angle because it's thinking that most walls from that point will be at a 90 or 45 degree angle. So let me roll down to, and you can tell when I hit 90 degrees, there's a light blue line that's sort of the projected line out, and I can scroll back down, and let me see, I was at 50, so let's make this 20. And I'll click again. Now I can come back the other way. All right? And you can click again, and then you can go back up 90 degrees. When you get to over that point, you should get a little purple box that shows up, and again you can click, and then you can hit the escape button, and lo and behold, you have what looks to be like a four-sided building. Okay? Now the one thing, this is awful small for me, and I don't have my usual mouse up here with the little roll bar on it, but you all have the mouses with the roll wheel on it. If you roll that in, you can zoom in and zoom out. That's the easiest thing to do for you all, is to go ahead and zoom in and zoom out. All right. So go ahead and get that situated. And that's so you have a building. All right. So go ahead and everybody get that taken care of. So we have our building here. The one thing, again, when we were drawing this four-sided building, again, we pointed out that we were using that generic wall, that 8-inch wall. The other thing that always comes up, though, is when people put or want to put a dimension on it, they go to the Annotate tab. And usually when I do a dimension, I'll do an align dimension. And for instance, if I clicked here and then went down to the other wall and clicked, and I came up here, it'd show me that I got that 50-foot dimension. Now, what do you notice about that 50-foot dimension, though? Look at it. Look at it real close. Where is that at? It's to the center line of the wall. I don't know if you wanted that. I just went ahead and did it. Okay, but that was not. That might have been what you wanted. That might not have been what you wanted. But anyway, I wanted to show that to you because when we were first drawing that, okay, you up here, you had the type that you could have picked either up here, the wall center line, or it was down here in the properties box where, you could have went, from the wall faces. We happen to do wall center lines. Okay, that's fine, but just recognize that because sometimes you might want to dimension to the, again, the faces of the wall and whatnot. All right, that's going to be that's sort of going to be a difference there. All right, anybody have any questions on that? All right. What if you escape. What if you didn't want that 50-foot dimension to the wall center line? What could you do? Well, you could, and if you ever get sort of locked up, you always hit the escape button once or twice. But if we went ahead and dimensioned this, okay, you'll notice that there's a little box that comes up. That's on sort of like the leader line of the dimension. If you click that once, you'll notice that the leader line goes to the inside face of the wall. And, of course, the dimension changes. Because that wall was 8 inches, now it went down to 49 feet 8 inches because it's taken off the 4 inches of the wall. You click it again, and it goes to the outside face of the wall, and you'll notice that the dimension changes to 50 feet 4 inches. So again, you could do that, again, click once, it goes inside, click twice, it goes to the outside. All right? So, questions on that? Let's say you sort of screwed up and you wanted it to be 50 feet outside to outside, but now you got 50 feet 8 inches. Okay? What's the easiest thing to do? Well, might be the easiest thing to do. You might say, just erase everything and start all over again, which we can do. It's relatively simple. You can highlight certain things, highlight a wall, you want to erase it, hit the delete button. All right? But let's say I don't want to do that. What can I do to change that dimension? Maybe you wanted that to be 30 feet, not 50 feet 8. All right? What you can do is come down to the wall that's perpendicular, highlight the wall that has the extension line, highlight the wall, and then come up here and click your dimension. And you can put in whatever dimension you want, 25 feet. And that will automatically change that dimension to 25 feet. And notice that, because the dimension was outside to outside now, that it's 25 feet outside to outside. So again, escape, sort of puts you back, sort of in the neutral position, hit the escape button twice, highlight the wall that's sort of where the dimension line's coming out from. Click on the dimension itself and enter in whatever you want the dimension to be, 31 feet. But again, notice that it's outside to outside dimension now. All right? So, again, dimensioning's not really what we care too much about, but if we do create a simple model, it's sort of nice to be able to check that you actually drew it and it actually ended up the way that you thought you were drawing it. And a lot of people, the big question comes in, hey, I thought I drew this wall, and I thought the wall was 42 feet long, but when I check the dimensions, it's 41 feet 4 inches. And so then the question comes up, are you drawing it center line to center line, out to out? If you did mess up, how can you change it? And hopefully we just showed you how you can do that.